both ends of the pitch. He was part of the most famous full forward line in minor hurling history and perhaps its lippiest member. He won pretty much everything the game has to offer, including the Senior All-Ireland twice.
Two Galway players went for the one ball, and it's a great save by Richie Burke, and Ronan finishes into the back of the net. A goal by Adrian Ronan. And that's easy for Michael Phelan, and then has the presence of mind to pick out Adrian Ronan, who turns around and swings the stutter over the bar in classic style.
Let's hear a big Parklife welcome for Adrian Ronan. Now, I could ask you about the success at the start, but that'd be too easy. I want to ask you about after you won the All-Irelands, because there was a period of massive change in Kilkenny hurling and a bit of a drought by your standards. Was it difficult, kind of having been introduced to the team so young and having success so young, to watch what happened to the team over the next 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I suppose I was very lucky to come into the team and win so much so young. At 23 years of age, I'd have played in 3 All-Irelands and won mine under 21 Railway Cup, and I thought I was going to be another Christie ring and going to win maybe 8 or 10 All-Irelands.
Yeah.
And obviously then in '93, that was the last All-Ireland that I was involved in. But at that time then we met a great Offaly team and Wexford team in Leinster. So I suppose it was a cruel way we learned the hard way, I suppose, that success came too early.
Was that something that you were ever conscious of? I mean, did you really think that it was going to be so easy? When it came so easy early on, did you just think, well, I don't need to work too much for this?
Well, it wasn't easy. I mean, it was, look, everything is, when we're involved in GA, and look, when you're involved with a great team, I was very lucky to be involved with a great team, but you couldn't forget at 23 years of age to think that after playing so many big games that, you thought obviously you're going to have a great career, and that didn't happen in my case, and didn't happen to other Kilkenny guys, because that team, we had 5 great years. We won 2 national leagues, and one not what we had in 1995. That team broke up, and obviously new management came in and new manager structures, and some of our faces didn't fit in, and come 97, 98, and obviously my turn was to go to grass. Yeah.
Now I'm right in saying this. You were in St Kieran's, weren't you?
Yeah.
Myself and my dad bunked off school one afternoon to watch yourself and DJ and Pat O'Neill play in Geraldine Park in Athy. And I don't know, you must have been 16 or 15 or 16 at that stage. You were already playing for the Kilkenny minor team. You were identified very early on as a superstar, as was DJ, and introduced to the senior team at the age of 18 and made free taker. How do you deal with that pressure when you're 18 years of age and you're in a county like Kilkenny?
Well, I suppose at the time, Jared, I suppose I was, again, very lucky. We won a minor All-Ireland, we won colleges All-Ireland, we were being talked about. I suppose I was involved with 2 or 3 great players at the particular time, DJ, Pat O'Neill, Charlie Carter. We all went to school together, and part of a successful, underage structure in Kilkenny. To go in at 18 taking free takers, I was lucky. I came in probably on a great Kilkenny team, the 1987-88 Kilkenny team that got beaten in All-Ireland by Galway in 1987. So I ended up playing with superstars as a child. I looked up to Ger Hendersons and Christy Heffernans and all these guys. So they just gave me a clap in the back and told me to get on with it. And I remember my first game down in Limerick, and I was there sitting in the dressing room with all these famous Kilkenny hurlers, and I was trying to keep my head down, trying to get myself right. And I remember Ger Henderson literally breaking a hurl off my chest, going out and said, "This is not a child's game, it's a man's game, and you have to be here. We don't care what age you are." So I mean, you didn't get any chance to be, you didn't get a chance to be recognised as a young guy at that stage.
That's a lesson, all right. We're going to bring you back now to 1992. You came on in the All-Ireland final as a sub, and then this happened.
Adrian Ronan has come in, a chance to make an impression and show the selectors that they were wrong to omit him in the first place. Across towards Adrian Ronan, battling the whole time with Brian Corcoran. Ronan tried to deny Corcoran space, it succeeds. In comes Michael Phelan. Kilkenny wanting to hold on now to their 3-point advantage and lift their first McCarthy Cup for 9 years. That looks good, it's excellent, and Ronan has put it over the bar.
Now, why are you laughing?
Because you were laughing.
You had your hand up there for some reason. You were waving something in the crowd.
I recognised 1 or 2 people in the crowd, that I gave a wave to.
The Kilkenny selectors, by any chance?
Well, there's a famous story that did around that day. Luckily RT at the time hadn't 10 or 15 cameras around the stadium. I was caught maybe making a gesture towards the Kilkenny dugout as a little thank you for dropping me for the previous 2 years. So
you were a little bit upset about being dropped.
Sure, like any guy. I played with Kilkenny all during those particular that year and the year before, and I had 5 years, and I unfortunately, as I said, my face didn't fit for the final, and I was very upset. It was my 2nd time in a row to get dropped for an All-Ireland final, the biggest day of your career, as Joe says. It's one of your biggest days in your life to get involved in an All-Ireland final, and to get dropped, and I obviously lost my way for the minute and made a gesture towards the towards the dugout.
They didn't hold it against you, though. You were right back the next year when Kilkenny were winning their annual 82, 83, 92, 93 All-Irelands. And we actually have another bit of footage from 1993, but it doesn't involve any of the actual playing time.
Let the grasses grow and the waters not be an easy way, but give me enough for the rare house made near Galloway Bay. Come Gouger Tov and Donegal and Sligo Lichton too, and we give him a slip and we take his a rare round Mountain Dew. Skilly idle love, 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 skilly idle love. It'll do.
Apparently you had to do it in every school in Kilkenny afterwards.
Sober. Biggest mistake I made at the particular time. Years ago at RT, you were interviewed after the game, and obviously after the 93 All-Ireland I was interviewed under the Hogan stand, thought I had my bit done, and sure, obviously like most players after an All-Ireland final, went off and did my bit of socialising, but some of my so-called teammates had that arranged, and I got caught rotten and had to sing it in every school, and they were learning in the schools and all afterwards. So I will not.
Well,